Hello, movie patient, and welcome to Film Therapy. I am Brienne, also known as Miss Movies, also known as your film therapist. I'm not a real therapist, but I play one on the internet just for this show. And as with every session of film therapy, I have a guest patient. And my guest patient today is Dr. Claw. Welcome. Welcome, Dr. Claw. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me today. Yes, that's all you're going to see of Dr. Claw because that's all you ever see of Dr. Claw.
This is all I am.
This is all you are. For those of you who have
This
never
is
joined
me.
us, for those of you who've never joined us before, here's how the show works. I'm going to ask Dr. Claw three questions about film. The first is, what is a film that inspires you? The second, that is, what is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy. And the third is, what is a film that helps you through difficult times? I started the show because I suffer from depression. And I find that movies help me escape from that depression and kind of help me cope. And that's basically why I did this. So, if you are in a situation right now where you're having a very difficult time and you need someone to talk to, please go to your doctor, call 911, call your friends, call someone that can help you right now because I am not a licensed therapist. Neither is Dr. Claw, right?
You don't know. I have a
Oh, okay.
doctorate.
Oh, maybe you are. You are a doctor.
I am a doctor.
All right. So, let's get to know Dr. Claw a little bit before we continue. Also, taking bets on, sorry, everyone, taking bets on when the feed will cut out. If you want to put that into the waiting room and let me know when you think that will happen, I would love it. Thanks. All right, Dr. Claw,
Yes.
how do we know you? Who are you? Who are,
You
I just
know,
want to know everything about you.
some people say that I'm evil, that I
Yes.
am sadistic.
Uh
I
huh.
like to believe that I am necessary.
You are
There is
necessary.
there
Okay.
is a man who has too much power. His name is
Mm,
Inspector Gadget. First of all,
okay.
stupid name. You
Well,
you have a stupid name, Inspector Gadget. Maybe me saying that is evil, but you know what? That's the only thing. He is a man with technology that surpasses what normal humans have, and people think it's okay.
hmm.
But I stop and I say no. I
Okay.
say
All
we
right.
need limitations. We need limitations on our law enforcement. We need limitations on what
Yes.
technology is allowed to do, and I am here to stop that.
Okay. Well, I'm very glad that you're here. Now, here's what I want
Mm,
to know, Dr. Claw. What is your cat's name?
Muffy.
And why isn't Muffy here today?
You don't know if she's here.
You know what? I'm allergic anyway, so it wouldn't have worked out.
Maybe she's in my car.
Okay, good. Did you crack the window?
Of course.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
I mean, why would
I left
anyone
the
do it?
car on. She can function it. She
Okay.
might go for a drive while we're doing this.
Excellent. All right, let's get started on our first question. And I do want to reveal that my shirt does say every story needs a villain. In this case,
Yeah.
it's Dr. Claw. So I want to know, Dr. Claw, what is a film that inspires you?
So this was probably the easiest question for me to answer because I had like an immediate one. It's About Time,
Okay.
which for those that don't know is a I don't know what year it came out in 2014. It's a pretty recent movie starring Donald Gleason and
Hmm.
I can't think of her name right now.
Well, Rachel McAdams is in it.
Rachel
Is that
McAdams.
who
I
we're
had the
talking
R.
about?
Yes, it's Donald Gleason and Rachel McAdams. It's it's billed as a romantic comedy, which it
Hmm.
kind of is in the beginning. But as the movie progresses, it becomes a lot more about like humanity and our relationships and our existence with other people.
Right.
And you know what we're supposed to do with our time because the premise of the movie is this guy Donald Gleason's character discovers that all the men in his family have the ability to travel back in their own timeline. So they
Hmm.
can't go to any point in time, but they can go to any point in time that they have been. So he can go back in time and like change a decision or see someone that's gone now. And it starts off with him using that to find love, and then it becomes about him using that just throughout his day to day life and how he learns about humanity and existence because limitations come into play. And I guess I can spoil it, right? Can I?
Well, let's leave it at that
Okay.
because it is a really great movie
It's
that I
so
feel that
good.
people need to see because, yeah, I mean, he discovers that he uses it to go back to good memories
Yeah.
too. And so that's another thing, not to change things, but to just experience things. experience life again,
Mhm.
the way that he remembered it, which I found to be very beautiful.
Yeah.
I also, what's her name is in it from, now I'm not going to remember, from The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, yeah.
Harley Quinn. And why I can't think of her name off the top of my head, it's just lost.
I
It's
know, I
lost.
know, I
It's
know,
gone.
I know her name.
Someone's going to tell us.
It's.
You don't know her name. Neither do I.
Yes, I do. Damn it.
Okay, well,
Chat.
at some point it will happen.
The claw
This is
beseeches
what
you.
happens.
Yeah,
It just
you
it
get
goes
here and just
boop,
gone.
Margot
I forgot
Robbie.
Margot
Thank
Robbie.
you.
Thank you.
Roven Derb. Roven. I don't know. I
knew-
apologize for saying your name
I knew
incorrectly.
Rachel McAdams' name too when I got here.
You know what? It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. So how does that movie inspire you? Like, did you think of it as like a really great piece of filmmaking, or did you think of it as in a, I don't know, just living in the moment? What was inspiring about it?
I mean, I guess to a degree, it inspires me in terms of filmmaking, because it does break a lot of rules, but does it really well. But for the when I say it inspires me, what I'm really talking about is just on a personal level. That movie's about humanity and living in the moment and the beauty of life. I think because
Mhm.
that movie builds itself around just experiencing life and experiencing existence, and that's really what inspires me is looking at this and saying, just the day-to-day life without his powers, without any of that, just these human connections and these people and existence is beautiful. And that's kind of how the movie wraps
Mm.
up, and that hits really, really hard for me.
That hits hard for me. I'm really surprised that it would hit hard for you, Dr. Claw, because you seem like a very cold individual.
I think life is beautiful, but sometimes there are certain people, as we've discussed,
Mm-hmm.
that threaten life,
Obviously.
like Inspector Gadget.
And we have to
And we have to
put
deal
them
with
in their
that.
place.
Yes.
And that's how that works.
Mhm.
Well, let's get into the next question,
Okay.
which is, what is a film, aside from Inspector Gadget from 1999, what is a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy.
I debated doing painful, but I'm gonna go with happy.
Okay.
Star Wars: A New Hope
Is happy for
is
you.
happy for me
Okay.
because
Just in general, not specific scene.
not specific scene, because because my dad and I have a complicated relationship. Shocking, right? Supervillain. Hello. So there are very few things we really connect on because we just have different interests. And one of those is football, but even that, he's a lot more in that world than I am. He understands it better than I do. So the only really other thing is film and TV. And the first thing he introduced me to that he really cares about is Star Wars. So from when I was really young, I started watching Star Wars. Like I can't remember a point in my life without Star Wars.
Right.
And then when I was pretty young, they had the new Star Wars movies come out too, and I'd already latched on to A New Hope because of my dad. So when I rewatch A New Hope, it doesn't trigger a specific memory for me, but it kind of triggers that flood of memories of like me being able to connect with my dad over something. And even as time has gone on and we've had new things to connect over, we connect over Marvel movies and stuff like that. Star Wars is that core thing. Like he has a Jedi tattoo on his arm.
What does it look like?
It looks like the Jedi logo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He has a logo of the Jedi logo tattooed on his arm. We love those movies, so having that thing that I can connect with him over, it's one of the better memories I can get from a movie.
Now, do you remember when you first saw the movie?
I have no idea.
Okay.
He says he put me in front of that movie basically the second I got home from the hospital.
Sure.
So I guess then. But no, it feels like it's always been around. I can kind of remember the first time seeing Star Wars in theaters because that was The Phantom Menace.
Okay.
So as a little kid, I loved that because there was Star Wars on the big screen and there was action. And now I have less positive feelings towards that movie. But it does still trigger happy memories because I remember Star Wars Mania going on back then. And like,
right.
I got the Anakin pod racer helmet. I owned that and I'd run around in it. I dressed up as Darth Maul for Halloween once. I hid in a fake graveyard and jumped out at people. It was great.
Now, how old were you when you saw Episode 1 in theaters?
I want to say, well, Dr. Claw is ageless.
Yes.
but I was probably 5. I think I was 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty young.
Hmm. And you remember that distinctly.
I distinctly remember aspects of seeing the movie. I definitely remember everything going on around it more distinctly. Like I remember, having the helmet. I remember dressing up as Darth Maul. I remember the hysteria of it all distinctly.
Hmm. It's something that was pretty crazy at the time, and you remembering it as a young child, I remembered it at in high school, and people there was someone. I remember the story about this man camping out the month before episode 1 was going to come out at I believe it's called the Man Chinese Theater at the time, or
Hmm.
maybe it was the Gromans Chinese. I don't know who owned it at the
It's the
time.
Chinese theater.
It's the Chinese Theater in Los Angeles. He camped out for a month before, and they like gave him a job because they're like, well, you're here, you might as well do something. Like, we know you're first in line.
Damn.
We know you're first in line, buddy. If you would like to make some money while you're here, let's give you a job. I distinctly remember that. I remember friends like going, dressing up, and like going a day or two before
Yeah.
to camp out, and I was like, I am not
No.
camping out, kids.
It's a movie. Like,
I was like, I love Star Wars. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I am not going to camp out. I will. And I remember going the day of and being able to see it the day of.
I went 3 hours early to see The Force Awakens, and like
Mhm.
that was a really big deal to me.
Right.
But that was as early as I was going to go, and I saw it
Yes.
the night it came out. So
So it all
it works.
And now a lot of places you can get like reserved seats. So you don't have to worry about, getting in there quickly and getting in your seat and saving for friends because it's already taken care of, which I love. And for some reason, my parents up in San Jose, they don't have that.
That's
they don't
weird.
have that,
I
and
feel
I
like
can't stand it.
It's weird because I think San Diego, I used to live in San Diego, has the best reserved seat system. Just because there was a movie theater pretty close by that cost the same amount as movie theaters here, and they gave you reclining seats. Like literally, there were recliners that you could reserve. It was the best. And now here, I feel like everyone's doing reserved seating,
Yes.
but it's still, for the most part, still like fairly typical movie theater seats.
Sure.
Like
I think AMC has like some
AMC
reserved and some not, and some where you can have
it's
food in
confusing.
it and some not. And then I think Gold Class was the first one I experienced that had the reclining seats as well as like a blanket, which I was like, I don't know about that. This was like when it first opened, and like gourmet food. It was the most intense thing, and they were $30 tickets.
Jeez.
But it was an experience.
Yeah.
You got a popcorn with it. You got
That's not
that
bad.
reclining seat. There was maybe 18 people in the theater at most.
That's amazing, actually.
So that was pretty nice. I would go back there, but their projection wasn't great. And so as a movie lover, you're kind of like, oh, you kind of did all the other things backwards.
Yeah.
Like start with this and then move to the other stuff.
Like first step, I'm paying for a high quality projection. Second step, I'm paying for people to not be bad. Yeah, in the theater.
I mean, but Dr. Claw will take care of it, right?
I mean, after the movie, but I don't want to cause more of a stir while I'm trying to enjoy my theater experience.
Yeah, I get it.
It's like it's already been ruined. I'll kill you now, but you've already ruined the experience.
Does Dr. Claw kill?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Okay, without the secretary present?
I have lawyers.
Oh, without lawyers and a secretary present. Okay, great.
I mean, even with lawyers, even with lawyers present, still probably not going to confirm or deny it. Okay. That's probably what they're going to say.
They'll say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the final question with Dr. Claw here. I want to know, what is a film that helps you through difficult times? When you cannot catch Inspector Gadget and he just keeps getting away, what helps you through that?
So there are a lot of movies that help in different ways, but I decided to go with just genuinely one of my favorite movies, a movie I can watch pretty much all the time. Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz is, first of all, Edgar Wright's one of my favorite directors. So
I have a trivia question for you.
Oh, sure.
What 2 films does he make him watch in Hot Fuzz?
Ooh, okay.
I know this, guys.
I know one of them is Point Break.
Yes. And the other one is
Bad Boys?
Bad Boys.
2?
2.
Yeah.
There
I've
you
seen
go.
that movie a lot. If I wasn't at least
Mhm.
close with these, I'd have been really upset with myself.
Good.
Um,
Okay, so you love Edgar
I
Wright.
I love
wanna
Edgar
get back
Wright.
to that.
Hot Fuzz is probably my favorite movie by him, just because it is so brilliantly funny and creative. The characters are fascinating. Like I like Shaun of the Dead. I just watched The World's End again, but Hot Fuzz is definitely my favorite. And when I'm in a bad mood or when I'm just having a really hard time, it's nice to have that film you can go back to. That's not
Mhm.
like it's not too heavy. It isn't a slog to get through. It's just this is an interesting story. It's brilliantly shot.
Right.
It's really funny. And that's the thing about Edgar Wright, because so many comedies nowadays, even though I like them, are basically improv in front of a camera. They're, all the comedy comes from the way they
Sure.
talk, which is great. That's a very fine way to do it. I go to improv shows, but movies have the potential to do so much more, and Edgar Wright makes use of like all of it. He makes use
Mhm.
of the way something's shot, something coming into camera, editing, all of it. So being able to just sit down and say it's like brilliant, but also lighthearted and fun. I love Hot Fuzz a lot.
Hot Fuzz is a lot of fun.
It is.
Love Shaun the Dead. I have not seen The World's End.
It's good.
So
It's a good
I
movie.
definitely need to check that out.
One of my friends, who I will not mention because I don't want to officially associate him with Dr. Claw,
well, Dr. Claw doesn't really have friends, so
he works with me.
okay.
He-
A minion.
A minion, sure.
Uh-huh.
Sure. But I like to tell them they're friends because I
Okay.
find that it makes them more
You want them
willing.
to feel like they're on your level.
Yeah.
So that
I want them
way
to
you
be
can
willing
destroy
to
them
risk their
later.
life for me.
Yep, I got it.
One of my minions.
Uh-huh.
World's End is one of his favorite movies. It's in his top 5. It's a good movie,
Wow,
yeah.
okay,
Now I'm
okay.
not sure I agree with him on that. I don't. I don't
Well,
agree with him on that.
It's his top 5.
But it's his top 5, so
you don't
he's-
have to agree with him. It doesn't matter.
What's the point?
right?
I'm saying,
You don't agree for your top 5.
if someone came up to me and they're like, "Do you think this movie's worthy of being in a top 5?" I'd be like, "I haven't seen it." I'd be like, "Maybe tone down your expectations a bit,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not sure I can see that, but it is a great movie."
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot Fuzz though. Hot Fuzz might be in my top 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, we are talking about it. It is something that you watch when
Yeah.
when you want to feel better. So it makes sense. I do want to say, for those that are in the waiting room, if you have a question for Dr. Claw, drop it in right now. We might answer it. Uh, the, the question we will not answer is, who is Dr. Claw? I hope that most of you who have listened to 6 Degrees or other shows before have kind of an idea. But I will say, it is not my husband.
Yeah.
We are not married.
Be weird.
I would not be married to a supervillain. I am the villain, so I can't be married to one. Ha!
That's true. Well, I feel like a villain would marry a villain, wouldn't they? I mean, who else would they marry?
Someone complacent.
That's
I don't
accurate.
know.
That's accurate.
I don't know. Someone they can brainwash.
Yeah.
Maybe someone they've kidnapped. I don't know.
Like
I could have
Princess
done
Bride.
one of those things.
Princess Bride was almost my choice for this.
Princess Bride is another great one.
Yeah.
Okay, I see a question has come in from Matt Movies 611. Do you have a favorite 6 Degrees entrance in the Schmodown, Dr. Claw? Oh, great question.
I'm gonna have to go with, and I kind of hate that I'm going with this one because Stacey Howard. It focuses on her and but I'm gonna have to go with Stacey being carried in as Poison Ivy. I'm a very big fan of DC. Shout out to Wonder Woman being the first good DC Extended Universe movie.
Yes, I agree.
So that was definitely above and beyond. I like that one a lot.
Is that because there's someone maybe a minion of yours, that helped carry her out?
I like to believe that everyone who helped carry her out is a minion of mine.
Well, yes, but you do know them.
I do know them. Yeah.
I feel like that's why.
Yeah.
If you were to take that one off the table, do you even know of any of our other entrances?
I like when you came in as Kill Bill cosplay. That was cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Randall Sands says, Dr. Claw, what is your favorite form of enhanced interrogation?
Ooh.
Waterboarding is what I would say.
No.
Oh.
As we discussed, I may or may not have a psychiatry degree.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I know that torture actually isn't effective. It doesn't get you what you want. It gets you false information. It gets you fake news.
Okay.
So I'm not a fan.
So kill them with kindness is what
Yes,
you're saying.
exactly. Give them what they want or threaten a family member, but don't actually torture them.
Okay, all right. Someone else put it on to someone else.
Look, there's a reason superheroes wear costumes, so people don't know who they love.
Mhm,
Find
mhm.
out who they love. That's all I can say.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep.
Hmm.
Should we take one more question?
I think we should take one more question.
Okay.
I would also like to respond to Randall Sands, who
Mhm.
says one of my minions almost dropped Stacy during that entrance. That is also fake news.
Also fake news.
Also fake
Yep.
news. Alternative facts. That is slander spread by A1 Miss Stacey Howard. And I will not have my minions be smirched like that.
All right, more vids 101 says Dr. Claw, do you think Brienne needs to go to some sort of rehab for her Schmodown entrance spending?
I mean,
Answer this carefully.
that depends on if you're planning on going up in spending from now on or down, because
Down.
peaking is fine.
Well, here's the thing. Dr. Claw is privy to what it was all spent on.
Yes.
That didn't make the cut.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's a
Cool.
difference there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a peak. If you keep going up, that's a problem. If you're like, we peaked with this one, we went a little over budget, but we're gonna come back down now. We're gonna make things work in a it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You need one data point does not equal a statistic.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, thank you. Also, I do want to say that someone had put it to me this way. It was
Sure.
Nick Scarpino. Thanks, Nick Scarpino. You're the reason I spent a lot of money. So here's what happened. I was debating on a prop to buy for this Schmodown where we did the Catwoman
Yes. Poison
and
Ivy.
Poison Ivy. And I was debating on a prop and I was looking at it and it was kind of a little expensive for what I
Mhm.
wanted to pay, which was close to nothing as what I wanted to pay.
That's what I always want to pay. That's why I steal things.
Obviously. I didn't know Dr. Claw was a thief.
Come
but
on.
but
It's the first lesson in villainy. Just take what you want.
Here's what he said to me. He said, "How much do you think your husband spends on doing his car
That's true.
and fixing his car?
That's
and his
true.
car is his thing. Your performing is your thing." And I was like, "You're right."
I mean, that is very true.
So
Like-
that's when I was like, "Bye."
Yeah. Here's the thing. Is spending that much money on it the best decision? Maybe not necessarily.
In the long run.
However, well, I mean, all money basically goes towards once you spend on what you have to do to survive, most money goes towards something you enjoy that's
Mhm.
going to expire and you'll just remember. But when you think about it, is it a lot to spend? Yes. If your husband wasn't spending that much money on something of his own, then it'd be an entirely different story because it's okay, manage your budgets equally.
Yeah.
But if he's spending all that money on a car, why shouldn't you spend all that money on something you enjoy?
Yeah. It's either
Nick
this or
Scarpino.
plastic surgery, guys. So
Ooh.
probably want to just stick with this.
Go
for
with
now.
go with what you're doing right now. Go with the outfits.
Well, thank you, Dr. Claw, for joining us today on Film Therapy. Where can everyone find you?
Hunting down Inspector Gadget.
Okay, so good. And old reruns. Maybe
And
on
old
Netflix.
reruns.
I don't
Are they?
know. Could be.
Can I be discovered on Netflix? I've not been getting residual checks for this. That's bad business on their part.
That is.
That is.
How dare they?
I know.
You can find me all day, every day on Twitter at Miss Movies. And
You can find me on Twitter at Dr. Claw.
can you?
Yes.
Okay.
If you search that and find a different Dr. Claw, I'm sorry, you're just not smart enough to find me.
Yeah.
Enigma.
Thank you all for joining us today. There will be no Film Therapy next week because I will be at Comic-Con, but there will be 6 Degrees. I know our beloved intern and engineer Ben will not be here because he'll already be at Comic-Con. But I'll be here. Stacy's not going to be here. It's going to be me and Jeff Snyder.
What a
Whoa,
douche.
Jeff Snyder. Yay, Jeff Snyder hype.
Going to Comic-Con early, what a douche that guy is.
I know. How dare he?
Ugh.
Please tweet.
You should
Jeff-
fire him.
Okay.
I mean, you only need him for the soundboard, so just
I know.
I have a claw.
Hashtag 10K for Ben. All right. Please tweet Jeff Snyder and let him know you're excited that he's going to be on 6 Degrees next week. And we will see you next time. Bye, 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 bye. Join with me. Bye, 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 bye,
Bye.
bye, bye.